I think people want to know more about your journey.
Yeah.
So that was the start. So humble beginnings, pro sports, doing things that you didn't enjoy, and then you found your hook, you found your passion, you found the thing that you love doing it and to do. So that middle section, so you've went from that to where you are now, which is quite far apart, I would say. So tell us some of the highlights of that middle part, and if there's any real sort of catalysts that boosted your career and your portfolio and things.
Yeah, I think there's a few key points when I look back. It's hard to have regrets, but one thing I think I did was I sourced for a little bit too long. I was very comfortable in other people taking the risks. I get a little fee, you buy the property, it's the risk, you buy a property. And now I look back at some of the properties in Warrington that I sourced for 50 grand, 55 grand. And it's easier to do in this market, obviously, when it's red hot. And there's one I put up the other day, and it's like, I think I sourced it for 52 grand. It's on the market for 125 grand now, 10 years down the line. And that's what property is. You spend enough time in the market, you feel the benefits. And so if anything, from a regret level, I sourced a bit too long. And obviously, in our position, you shouldn't overly have regrets. But if I look back at it, I'd say I sourced it too long. I could have raised private money. I could have done more deals earlier when the market was very, very favourable. And that was probably a tipping point for me, confidence in using other people's money. And I know it gets thrown around, other people's money, and how people will have a go at you using other people's money. You have no experience, blah, blah, blah. So maybe the time benefited me because I'd proven myself in the market. I proved that I was doing good deals. That probably worked for me a little bit. But yeah, that was a key point for me. Confidence in using other people's money and confidence in taking the risk of buying myself. So I think one of my biggest fears is comfort. And I feel it often. There's some mornings, I think there's a few famous boxers that say it's very difficult to get up and train when you're sleeping in silk covers. And
is this an exclusive? Danny Inman has silk covers. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I don't on purpose. To try to keep myself uncomfortable. Sleep on a bed of nails. Right, okay. But no, it's true. As you get a better life and a better passive income, for want of a better term, and as you start to tick off things on your goal board and your dream board, your motivation starts to waver a little bit. So comfort has always been something that I'm very acutely aware of, and I look out for a feeling of that in myself. If I start to feel motivation dropping in me, it's usually because I'm comfortable. And I have a conscious switch in me that I need to be aware of that, and I need to look into whether I need to change that in any way. And being aware of that quite early was with regards to sourcing. When I sourced so many deals, I was comfortable taking 2 or 3 grand worth of fee, but not stepping up in risk profile to take the risk to be the one buying it, to be the one having to manage the refurb, to take that additional responsibility that comes with success. If you want a lot of success, you've got to take on a shitload of responsibility, and you're going to take on a shitload of problems. And I think the avoidance of that is a big problem in success. So I think that very early, 18 months in, when I thought, bloody hell, I've made a killing here, sourcing 100 deals, 2 or 3 grand a pop, made a lot of money, but I've not really took any real risk. And to get to the bigger rewards, I think I need to take more risks. And that consciousness of comfort zone was probably, at that stage, was very good for me. And then it scales all the way up. You get very comfortable doing buy-to-lets. So are you going to step up to the next investment profile? Very fortunate as well, and probably another key point on my timeline is finding a business partner 6 or 7 years ago that's an absolute addict to the game and success. And you could read every success book, and it epitomizes his behavior. And everyone thinks I'm an addict, and he makes me look like a puppy. And that's been great to have somebody that's just got that in them, to when you're having a bit of a shit day, or you're having a bit of a challenge, or you lean on somebody who has a different perspective and a different view, and different risk profile, different experiences. So him, not just him, to be fair, a huge network, a big network that I've had and I've built over time, which has now led to the Prosperity Network. I've always felt that abundance comes from community. And that's always been massive for me. So yeah, I'd say those 3 points: awareness of comfort zone, importance of having either a business partner, mentor, coach, somebody who's there when you're having a shit time. Because honestly, I feel like giving up once a week. Once a week, I have this conversation with myself that, what the fuck am I doing it for now? I've got enough money. I can retire. I'm 35. I can live a hell of a life. But then you realize that the rewards in overcoming those challenges are actually more gratifying than doing nothing. So that's a big one. And then network, strength of network, putting yourself around people who have a similar mindset, a different mindset, whatever it may be, but challenge you in some way to either perform or hold you accountable, or whatever it may be. I think those 3 points have probably pushed me to the point where I am today, when it would have been quite easy to stop, I think.
Wow, some gems there. Just on those couple of points, just to explore them a bit further. So with the comfort zone thing, I think a lot of people will definitely be able to relate to that once they get to the first target in property. I'd say that replace their income or 10 properties, isn't it? Everyone I speak to, it seems to be that at the start, doesn't it? But once they get that, some people then do stop, don't they? Or they lose the mojo, they lose the motivation. So from someone who's went from level to level to level, or up these levels, what do you do? So you identify it, but then how do you personally say, I am in the comfort zone? Is it stretch? Is it doing something that you've never done before? Is it a bigger project than you've ever done before? Is it speaking to Nathan? Is it, what is it that gets you out of the comfort zone, would you say?
Yeah, a number of different things. I'll probably comment in a couple of ways there, because the guy I did my training with stopped really early. He hit a certain level, 3.5, 4 grand a month in income, which is obviously a good level for a lot of people from property. And that was him. And I think the key with property is it's a vehicle that if you love it, carry on. If you don't love it, let it get you to the point where you can do something that you love. And that was the case with him. He
Good advice.
went and opened a restaurant, lived the life that he wants on that particular side of things. And that, I had a lot of respect for that, because it was kind of like he recognized, I don't really enjoy property. I like what it's done for me. I like what it's given. I can leave my job and get away from that, but I don't love it. I love it, and I enjoy the process. I enjoy the challenges. So I think that's important. I think you're one of two people. I think in our industry, there's a big problem with everybody having to pretend they love the hustle. If you don't love it, you don't love it. No one can force you to love it, and you just need to do enough to get what you want, and that's fine. I've coached a lot of people over the years that have got to 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 grand a month and stopped, and I have as much respect for them, recognizing that that's their limit, than the guys who want to carry on and take bigger risks. You and I are probably different. We want to empire, take over the world, and it's not really about the thing, it's about the success in getting the thing. That's what I love. I like the development of me as a person in overcoming the challenges to get the thing. Like, the things now are just a measure of how well you've done. And if I make 50 grand profit in a deal, then I've done 50 grand's worth of well, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean I'm going to go and spend 50 grand more, because I don't necessarily need 50 grand's worth more of things. So that's a weird transition. I think that's the comfort zone thing as well, that if you hit a point and you don't enjoy the process, it's fine that you don't carry on and you go and find something where you enjoy the process. If you do enjoy it, then the way that I keep myself challenged is by recognizing that I measure my success by how well the deal's gone, but I'm not defined by how well the deal's gone, because I've had shit deals as well. So that's part of it. I don't know a good deal if I've never done a shit deal ultimately. So it's all relative. So that's a big thing. Yeah, I think stretching the comfort zone for me has been possible by enjoying the process more than anything.